Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Make sure you can actually hear me over here. I know you can, but just in case. Welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining us. Wherever you're joining us, rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Also, especially if you're in the Savannah area or planning to come to the Savannah area, or if you just want some cool merch from the Savannah area surrounding St. Patrick's Day, make sure that you go to SayLessSportsTees.com. That's SayLessSports.com to pick up that new St. Patrick's Day merch. It's on, it's popping. If you've been on my Instagram, you've seen my students out there rocking that St. Patty's Day merch. I think I just dropped a reel with people trying to dance or not dancing and singing and all that good stuff. Make sure you can go and pick that up. That's from Say Less Sports Tees, SayLessSports.com, and look for the St. Patrick's Day underneath the originals, the Say Less originals. I'll tell you one thing that I am getting extremely tired of. I'm almost to my level with the black athlete or the black personality having to go above and beyond to do anything, to get any traction, to make any headway. And I don't come by this lightly because I really do believe in a meritocracy. I believe that you earn what you get. And I believe that's what's the best part of sports. And again, like I said yesterday, this isn't a reference to Daniel Jones or Lamar Jackson because they're not in the same category. These guys have not done the same things. They don't demand the same price tag. But it is interesting to note how little Daniel Jones had to do in order to garner a rather substantial contract. Now, I know that the way they structured it, it's only $18 million versus against the cap or whatever, but that means they had to drop $80+ million in this man's hand the moment he signed on the dotted line. I'm not pocket watching. That's congratulations to Daniel Jones. But the idea that, Lamar Jackson, because he doesn't have an agent, has to, play the long game. Well, if he had an agent, guess what? If he had an agent, his agent wouldn't be fighting for $250 million guaranteed, if that is the number that he's looking for. His agent would be trying to get him the best deal possible for him, but knowing that he's going to get a large percentage of that money. Not a large percentage. He's going to get a percentage that equals a lot of money, regardless if it's fully guaranteed or not. Like, Lamar Jackson should not have to jump through hoops for this. More than any other quarterback, Patrick Mahomes included, he deserves to be paid a fully guaranteed contract. He does more if you're going to ask your starting quarterback to be a guy capable of throwing for over 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, but also rushing for 1,000 yards, then you have to pay him as a running back and as a quarterback. The only way to do that and not completely obliterate like your situation is to pay him guaranteed money. It seems pretty logical to me. Hey, we know that we're about to put years off of your career by playing you in this manner. So we're going to compensate you accordingly so that you get all your money from the contract, regardless of what we decide to do. If we decide to move on, if we decide that we want to go a different direction. Now, we're not going to give you 6 years, 7 years. We're not going to give you 5 years. We're going to give you 4 years. That seems to make sense to me. I think if you came at Lamar Jackson and said, hey, 4 years, $20 million, guaranteed, boom, he signs it. 50 a year. I think maybe if you came at him and said 4 years, $180 million. 4 years, $190 million. He signs, fully guaranteed. But he shouldn't have to go above and beyond. Like, they've moved the goalpost a million times on Lamar. First he was a wide receiver playing quarterback. Then he went to the right system. They designed a system for him in Baltimore. Even though the system that he was the most successful, one of the most successful quarterbacks in the history of college, was under a pro-style offense, under a guy who runs a pro-style offense. He came into the league. They designed this single wing offense for him as if he could not operate in a pro-style offense, which is what he operated in the prior 3 years at Louisville. Then they talked about his arm strength. They talked about his accuracy. He improves his accuracy. Now all of a sudden he's injury prone. Never mind all of the other quarterbacks in the NFL who lost time from injuries. Patrick Mahomes gets injured every single season. Nobody says a word. Every season. Burrow deals with injury every season. Herbert, Tua, 39, 48-year-old Aaron Rodgers has been injured many seasons, has lost full seasons of injury, and you still have the Jets willing to just give up their entire future for this old man. They're trying to catch the lightning in the bottle like the Bucks did, except they're not at the level where the Bucks were when they brought in Tom Brady, and they still got to get lucky, and they play in the AFC. It's no luck in the AFC. You got to be good, and you can't be a check down Charlie in the AFC. You have to be good. Aaron Rodgers has turned into a check down Charlie. No, let's go ahead and pay him $50 million. He's worth it. He's worth it. You got to go above and beyond. You got to go above and beyond, and I just don't understand why. I'm tired of hearing Stephen A. Smith lecture black athletes when they make missteps. I'm tired of hearing Stephen A. Smith go on his platform as a black man who is supposed to be there to, in many sense, has a platform to uplift all of the great things that other black men in sports do. And yet the only thing Stephen A. Smith gets clicks for is when he goes on these rants about black players and what they should not be doing. It's frustrating. Yo, Stephen A., we love you, but man, are you for us or against us? And I'm tired of hearing him say, oh, well, behind closed doors, this is what I do. Behind closed doors, I reach out. Behind closed doors, I hear from other players. Hey, behind closed doors, Stephen A. Smith, guess what? Perception is reality. And out in the public, where we can see it, Stephen A. does not rock for us. Every time I turn around, Stephen A. Smith is saying something else negative. Let me get this out the way. I don't condone guns. So if you think that I'm a gun person, you're the wrong person. I'm not a gun guy. I believe guns kill people. I believe people kill people with guns. So if none of us had guns, then nobody would get killed by a gun. People would have to figure out how to fight again. Learn how to knuckle up again. So I'm not here for the guns. I'm not the guns guy. So please understand that when I talk, this isn't me pro-gun. So I don't agree with what Ja Morant did. I just think it's interesting. So supposedly Ja Morant could be suspended for up to 50 games because he was in a video with a gun. Are we sure that the gun wasn't legal? Are we sure that the gun wasn't his? He was in a social media video supposedly with the gun. I don't know anything else about it. but the optics look bad, and so he was suspended. All of a sudden, he needs counseling. He's got to go above and beyond because he made a mistake. Make no mistakes about it. It was a mistake. He should not be doing that. You 200 plus up. You don't have to do this anymore. Have your mans, have somebody, hire security, whatever. But now he's got to go through counseling. They lecture his dad. Oh, you got to be his dad. You don't need to be his friend. This man is 20-something years old. His dad was his dad all the time when he was growing up. And that's why he's in the NBA making $200+ million. Because his dad did his job. Now we're going to admonish the dad. Oh, you can't be in the club with your son. You got to be a father to your son. You can't be a friend to your son. What? So he's not allowed to celebrate and enjoy his life with his son? Look how many moms out there get celebrated because they're able to be still viable and still vibrant and still lively when their sons are thriving. Why do we always have to be above and beyond what the norm is? Ja Morant's got to do all of this apologizing and 50 games and counseling and all this and get stoned by every media member out there. Why? I live in Georgia. I watched the governor of Georgia go on not one, but several campaign ads with a gun in his hand, talking about how much he loves guns and he's going to protect the right to be able to have guns. I watched that governor do ad after ad after ad with him with a gun on it. He won in a landslide. He won re-election in a landslide versus an opponent that had real legitimate qualities who cared about everybody, not just about their own self-interest. And he beat that candidate hands down. Nobody said a word. There was no outrage. There was no finger wagging. He didn't have to go and apologize. And he still succeeded. And he's the governor of a state. Ja Morant's just a basketball player. Why do we always have to go above and beyond in order to be in the good graces? It doesn't make any sense to me. Eric Bieniemy can't get a head coaching job. He's only been the offensive coordinator over the best offense, the most creative offense in the NFL for the past, 3-4 years? Oh, well, he doesn't call plays. Okay, let's move the goalpost. He doesn't call plays. Neither did the two guys who got jobs before him. Except Andy Reid keeps saying that he's calling plays. Oh, well, he needs to go somewhere else to do it. Oh, well, the reason he's not getting it is because of the thing that he did 20 plus years ago when he was at that place that's not the NFL. But I thought you wanted offensive innovators. I thought you wanted offensive minds. We go to Miami, Mike McDaniel down in Miami, supposedly a person of color. Supposedly. He's supposed to be bringing offensive innovation down there. He came from a system where the running game was ridiculous. He was the run game coordinator, and Miami can't really run the ball consistently. Somebody make it make sense. The problem in Miami is a run game. The problem in Miami is the run game, but you hired a guy who was hired for his offensive innovation in the run. We have to go above and beyond just to be recognized for what we do. Just to be recognized. My good friend Teron Davenport murdering things over there in Tennessee on the Titans beat. Why don't I see him more? Why isn't he a fast riser at ESPN? Why haven't I seen him get more opportunities on the national shows to speak, to talk? I keep seeing all of these other people who have not done 1/10 of what this man has done, who has beaten the block for 3, maybe 4 different teams now. As a beat reporter, he has beaten the block and done fantastic work for years now. Why is he not ascending? Why do I not see him all the time? Why is it that when they go to stuff in Tennessee and news in Tennessee, I see other people in front than him? He's not always there. How? What else does he need to prove? He's got a following long as Train Smoke. Everybody who watches him swears by him. My good friend Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, Mr. Day 3 of the NFL draft. Why is he not plastered all over CBS Sports? This is what he does. This is his time of year. He should be on CBS Sports every single day. He is the new age Mel Kiper. He is the new age guy, except he actually goes to games, watches and evaluates players for himself. He doesn't buy into conventional wisdom. He's not trying to group think. Those types of individual thinkers, guys who are able to think outside of the box, guys who you can't really refute what they're saying because they've been there, they've seen it, they've done it, those guys should be going up. Why does he have to? A million things that don't have to do with the draft when he is a scouting and draft expert. The 2023 football game plan NFL scouting guide is going to be the most elaborate and comprehensive scouting guide out there. Shameless plug. But it is. And behind the scenes, people who know will tell you, yo, this is the most knowledgeable dude in the game. But they only tell you that behind the scenes. They don't get out in front of the camera and say it. What do we have to do? Why does it always have to be the long road for us? Where's the fast track? Kendrick Perkins said something that First Take had to walk back. He said that, I think he said something like 90% of the voters for the NBA MVP was white. And they had to walk it back because they said, oh yeah, there's definitely more diversity, more representation than that on the, on as voters. And people were all in uproar. I saw black men admonishing Kendrick Perkins, acting like what he did was so damaging. Kendrick Perkins misspoke though, because it's not 90% white men. I'm going to tell you what I did though. I went and got the confirmed ballots. These are the confirmed ballots from 2022. And I will post this in my Twitter later so that people can see it. I went through and looked at every single person from the confirmed ballots on 2022. So these are the people that are not just the confirmed MVP voters, but the people who actually made public that they voted. All right? It was 56 people. Out of the 56 people from the confirmed ballots, there were 13 black people. There were 13 black people. One was a black woman. One. So when he says that 90% are white, he misspoke. What he really meant to say is there are not enough black men and black women who are MVP voters. If he would have just said that, nobody could have had an issue with it. But because he phrased it wrong, because in the moment on live television, you're talking fast, you make mistakes, like we haven't all done it. But he did it on national television. They tried to chastise him. People are talking about he should be suspended. Are you serious? Because he misspoke and said that there were more representation by white people? He didn't mean it. He meant there's not enough black people. See, we always try to as black people, because we're not just naturally hateful, we try to include. So we try to say people of color because we want to include the Indian and we want to include Japanese and Korean, and we want to include people of color. Here's the problem. They don't do the same for us. They don't ride for us the way we ride for everybody. So let's keep a spade a spade. No pun intended. 59 confirmed ballots in 2022. Those are just to confirm. There was another, I'm going through the entire list. So by the time I'm finished, I'm going to have the exact numbers from the list that I received. 53 confirmed ballots. 13 black people. Let's do the math on that. Let's see what that is, right? We want to know what the percentage is. That's 24% of the confirmed ballots being of black people. You think that's good enough in a league that is 90% black? In a league where the majority of the players are black, the majority of the people voting on the awards don't look like them. We think that's fair? We think that's right? We think that's just? Or can we be willing to admit that Kendrick Perkins might actually have a point? Kendrick Perkins might actually have a point. He just said it wrong. How about we help him, Stephen A., Molly Karam? How about we help him? Instead of, oh, let me distance myself from these comments because I don't want the bullets coming at me. I don't want the slings and arrows coming at me. Instead of distancing yourself from controversy when it has to do with racial relations and being willing to smash black men over the head every 5 seconds, how about we shoot him some bail? Hey, Kendrick, I don't think your quote is accurate. I'm pretty sure there's more representation from people of color, but there's only 13 confirmed black people who voted. That's not good enough. Oh, I can't wait to get through the rest of this list. I got other stuff to do, but I'm going to get through the rest of this list today. Why? Because I have this weird superpower that comes with my ADHD that allows me to get hyper-focused on one thing. That one thing is this list. I don't like what they were doing to Kendrick Perkins. And I'm not even a Kendrick Perkins fan. I'm not out here riding for Kendrick Perkins, but I can tell when somebody is being like trying to make an example of. I can tell when you're trying to put that boy back in his place. And I don't like it. I'm here to tell the truth, and if you're not here to listen to it, then you should probably find somewhere else to be. Like, it's just crazy to me. We don't have to be, this isn't how it has to be. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to operate like this. The people who have earned what they've earned, they should be given what they deserve. The people who make mistakes, they should be apologetic for the mistakes, but they shouldn't have to go out on a Players Tribune and give you the tea on their entire upbringing to let you in on why they made the mistake they made, they shouldn't have to lay upon the coals and be cooked before you'll accept them. People got mad at Michael Irvin for saying that it was like a public lynching. What they were trying to do to him. Like people can't understand analogies anymore. Like they don't understand the nuance of an analogy. These men and these black men and these black women, they're out here fighting for their livelihood. And one little hiccup, one little mistake, and it's over for them. It's over for them. Some woman talking about how she's gonna air out Jamar Chase's dirty laundry, putting a picture of him sleeping that she took of him on the like, what kind of society are we living in? You either have to be a monk or you have to date people that are like of the same stature and or beyond you in order to make sure that you're safe. Now you don't want these. Now when you get mad when Michael Irvin walks by you and doesn't say anything and you video him and go, oh, Michael Irvin was an a-hole to me. Yeah, because the last time he was nice to a woman, she tried to sue him. She tried to say he did something that he didn't do. She almost cost him his job. It's tiring having to go above and beyond all the time. Who can do that? We got to get these things together, and we got to get them together right now. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. You just think a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And when you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Till next time, peace.